working.
Yeah. So let us get back into our select board meeting now that the special town warrant meeting has been taken care of at 7:13, something like that. And we just recited the Pledge of Allegiance at the special town meeting. I don't think we need to do it again. Item 3 would be additions to the agenda. Warrants 190, 13, 14, and 15 were added since the original agenda was published. We want to discuss the recall petition, which will be done under communications. That's added. And then we have C, which is the overdrafts and contingency account, which will be covered where? Down under new business?
Under D. D, new business, yes.
Yeah, okay. Anybody else have additions?
The only thing under, I can't remember if it was unfinished business or not, I had brought up the point about the Guilford Bicentennial. They're going into full swing, and just want to know what kind of participation, if any, we were going to get involved in. They've got a whole roster of events here that are coming up. You know, some kind of acknowledgement of their bicentennial.
Well, yeah, we can acknowledge it, but I'm sure that our new fire truck will be in the parade.
Okay.
I mean, we gotta drag it and rub people's nose
Shine
in
it
it.
up. Yeah, okay. All right.
But I would say that would be the extent. I don't recall Guilford having much of a participation in our bicentennial.
Well,
So,
There was the question about our booklet, did they pay to be in our booklet?
I think we put an ad in, didn't they?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
well, then we ought to do the
And we
same,
would do the same
reciprocate.
if they want our ad, yeah.
If we can still get it in, I don't know. They've got a whole year's worth of stuff here from December 31st of last year to December 3rd of the coming year. So I guess we have plenty of time to do something. But that's all. That's all.
Okay. And do we need an official, this is the letter you wrote?
Yeah, but I want you guys to edit it. I want
Okay.
you guys to add your thoughts and we'll smooth it up and it'll be from all of us.
That'd be for the town report.
Yeah. Should that be official part of our discussion tonight, I guess? Does that amount to an
No,
addition?
just write your things and give it to Ken.
Oh, okay. Good enough. All right, then guess we're ready for open forum. Anybody want to speak, complain, compliment, or otherwise speak up? Now's your time. Mr. Dobson.
The discussion on the recall ordinance, what is your agenda? What is your game plan there?
We will accept it, make note that we have received it, and the petition, the signatures have been approved. And the next step will be to have the town manager send it to our town solicitor for their comments.
So you plan on accepting it to put on the warrant?
We'll have to wait and see what our solicitor has to say.
You already know, you already heard what the solicitor has to say.
Not about this one.
Yes, we did, last spring, early spring, midsummer. When he had the attorneys meeting that was here for the questions I had. So you already know what he's gonna say. You already know that he said it was legal. You already said it was legible and understandable. You already know this, and you have a letter from our attorney stating that it's legal and it meets all the requirements. And I see no problem with it. And I've been told by the town manager and one of the board members that it will be put on the warrant. There's no way you can turn it down. It's legal, it's proper, the signatures were proper. And if you guys want to send it to the lawyer, go ahead. To me, it's wasting your taxpayers' money, but you have the right to send it to me. But I would like to see and know that it gets voted on by the board to be accepted, to be put on the warrant, along with the citizen's attorney letter. Unless you're not going to put your attorney letter in there. But if you put your attorney letter into the warrant, that our attorney letter needs to be put in the warrant also. But I want to assure,
It's a
or
selectmen's
assurance
document.
it's going to be voted on to
It's
be
a
accepted,
selectmen's document.
to be put on the warrant. Tonight or later, but I want to know that it has been voted on to be put on the warrant and accepted by the board.
We're not ready to do that yet.
Okay. I'm just saying, I want to know when it is.
Okay.
It should be done tonight, because it's all clear that it's legal and proper. So, it's just one more thing that, no sense me saying anymore. I just want to know if you plan to accept it.
No, we're not ready to accept it yet,
And explain to me why.
until we have an official response from our solicitor.
Okay?
Any other comments or complaints or what have you? Then I guess we can move on to the communications.
First one is from Sangover resident whose escrow company pays his taxes. And they don't pay any attention to the fact that if it's paid by a particular date, there's a 2% discount on it. No matter what he tells them or anything else. Our practice, and I call around to other towns to find out what they do, unless the person or whoever is paying the taxes, whether it's an escrow company, an individual, a mortgage company, whoever, whatever, who or whatever is paying the taxes, unless that entity asks for the discount, we don't give it. If they give us the full amount, we accept it, thank them, and cash their check.
We're here to collect taxes.
That is, you are allowed to have a 2% discount, but we don't force you. You have to ask for it. This individual thinks differently, that we should, if his escrow company pays in full and it's within the 2% discount, we should give him credit on his next year's tax bill for that 2%. I said I would bring it to the select board to see if there's any change in
I don't think
in
we
the
have
way
any
in which
authorization under state law to do anything like that.
we do it.
I wouldn't think so either, because it would require him to petition us through his escrow company for the 2%.
Every year in town meeting, we vote on the 2% discount. If the town as a whole decided that that was unfair in some way, then they don't have to vote for the discount. And he's perfectly free to stand up at that point in town meeting and make his case.
But for now, it's a non-issue.
Well, the 2% discount comes up as an article each year. And I've heard plus and minuses about it. Yesterday I heard a pretty emphatic nay about it. Why are you doing that? I heard it from someone else too this morning, that it entitles certain people that can afford to pay their taxes prior to the deadline the privilege of getting the 2%, as opposed to the ones that can't have to suffer the penalty of may go into 7% interest. But
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to wait and see what town meeting brings up. It's going to be a vote to the people, and if they want to get rid of it, then fine. Part of the trouble that we ran into this year, I don't know if Ken's had time to update,
Yeah.
but we ran into trouble with more money from the 2% discount being applied than what was in the overlay. So we're getting hit on that this year. May happen again next year. Ends up being an overdraft.
If we did away with the 2% discount, we could probably go for the minimum on the overlay, which would save $10,000.
Something-
Greenville gives 1%. None of our surrounding towns give anything. But Dexter,
And we
Dover.
have, the historical reason to do it was to get the money in early so that we didn't have to borrow in expectation of revenues. But we have, due to prudent select boards before us were sitting on a cushion that we are not, it's not necessary we do that.
It was very popular last year.
Oh, yes, I got it.
I got it.
It does bring the money in early.
Yeah, it does.
Right now, we're sitting on $250,000 uncollected 2015 taxes. It might have been larger
Yeah.
if we didn't do it.
Yeah. I'm not saying we should, I mean, I think it's just keep the warrant article at town meeting, and if there comes to be a large enough sentiment to get rid of it, then it'll disappear.
Yeah.
It's a kind of a nightmare for the clerks to, if the escrow account comes in full and then we have to take out the 2% and apply it and all that.
No, we don't do
Because
other people's
sometimes-
banking for them.
Because sometimes it's only, $500 tax bill, and then you're talking,
$10.
2% of, it's just,
Well, it's interesting too, Ken showed paperwork earlier today on another issue about the town meeting date, and one of the papers was from the records was from 1988. And I didn't move into Sangerville until 95, so it's a little bit before me, but it's right in the minutes of the town meeting that at least as far back as 1988, that the 2% was applicable. So sometimes old habits die hard. but-
there's a point at which I had to read the town reports back to 1975 recently.
Oh, dear.
At least the warrants, the warrant part of the town report. And there's a point at which all of a sudden, the warrant article for tax anticipation notes stops.
Yeah.
And then,
See, I was in a conversation today where people didn't understand why we have to have the cushion that we have. And that is to avoid the tax anticipation note. That was the phrase I was trying to think of today and couldn't think of it. So I think it would behoove us, when it's our turn with the budget committee, to explain that all out in detail so that everybody knows. And see, I don't agree with the $400,000 cushion. I think it should be a $600,000 cushion because we've got 6 months and the sweep is $70,000. So if you had to refill the sweep 4 times, you would be wiped out, and we would be writing a note. So I think 600 is the safe cushion. So
You got your math
I do. What's my math?
wrong. 280,000.
28. No, but if you had what?
4 times 7 is 280.
Right, but I mean, if you had it, there's 4 weeks in a month, right? And that thing gets if you had a heavy month, you could wipe it out.
Or a disaster.
A disaster of some type.
well, you're right, you don't know.
Right. So I mean, it's there.
Did you see the fire engine a couple weeks ago that went off the road?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally destroyed?
Oh yeah. Do we have insurance?
Oh, yeah. Now we do, yes.
Yeah.
But the thing of it is, the brakes didn't work, and what if it was sloppy maintenance on their
We
part?
didn't sell the 75 to anybody, did we?
No. Insurances have a funny way of looking into those things before they pay.
Ken doesn't know what the issue is. I'll have to fill him in.
Yeah, you can tell me
What
tomorrow.
happened next door.
Okay. So do we have to have any kind of a motion to vote? or-
No, it's just, if
Discussion.
you want to change the policy, or the practice.
I'll leave it up to the voters.
I think, yeah.
I would not tell voters what to
With-
do on that one.
Well, I mean, I would fill them in on the fact that this year we have to absorb an overdraft because so many people took advantage of the discount.
And in the budget, I requested an extra 500 on top of that, so in anticipation of it becoming even more popular.
But that's what we have contingency for, to fix those.
Yeah.
I'm not saying miscellaneous, I'm saying contingency.
Okay, so I guess we can move on to B. Receipt of a petition to have a recall ordinance placed before the voters at the annual town meeting.
Right.
We have received it, that the signatures have been approved, that are in sufficient quantity.
Yep.
And our next step would be to vote to have town managers forward this official petition to our town solicitor
For comment.
for comment. Any,
Is that your motion?
that's my motion. Will you second it?
I will second it, but then I'm going to make an amendment to that motion.
All right.
And that motion is, the amendment to that motion is that we do address that petition item tonight, that we do take a vote on it. And my feelings on that is that there's 120 reasons or so out there why we should address this now and bring this to a head. I have no problem with forwarding it to the town council to review, because the only difference that's going to make is what gets written up in the town report as to whether he recommends to approve it or
Whether he-
disapprove it, or he does it on a legal standing, whatever. But I'd like to have this acted on tonight.
I don't feel I'm prepared to act on it tonight, because until I get the lawyer's comments back, I don't know if we can act on it one way or the other, because he has to be able to feel that he can defend this ordinance in order for it to be appropriate.
Now, as the last time around, he offered us the opportunity of presenting our own ordinance. And we could, at that point, if we sent it down to him, we could get his feelings about what would need to be added to it to, But-
If I could,
yeah, yeah.
that's a whole another issue
Right, that's a
all in
whole
its
nother-
own.
and-
Right now, we're working on this particular
And
item.
the other thing about that is too, is I think that when it goes down to the lawyer, we need to send it certified mail, return receipt requested.
Okay.
And I don't think that we have gotten all of the information that was presented when the petition went around, because I have had several people inform me that there was another piece of paper that was produced when that petition was signed.
Well, I haven't heard anything about that from anybody.
There's 3 people on my road came to me and said, and nobody has a copy of it, they all threw it out. So there is another, just like the other one that was in question last spring, explaining the ordinance, which our lawyer has a right to see as well. And I'd like to see us have that piece of paper to go along with the packet down to Eaton Peabody. I think it should be complete. I don't think that there should be things out there that were passed out with that petition when it was signed, and we as the town don't get to see that.
Yeah, but he has the legal right
But
to petition.
He has the
You're
legal
not
right to
questioning
petition.
that.
I'm not questioning that. I'm questioning what else was said. We're not getting the whole story. There was a cover letter, there was a handout of some kind.
Mr. Dobson?
There was no other letter. There's only but one ordinance that got circulated, that you have, that I turned in the town office. The only thing that got circulated around, and I made sure that everybody that see it, that signed it, had an opportunity to read it, and I made sure they read it. And the only piece of paper that was with the ordinance was the attorney's letter, which is attached to the ordinance. That is 100% legal, proper, follow proper procedure. Say whatever you want, you get your little buddies to say whatever you want, but the fact is, everybody that signed that petition, I went around personally myself and see to it that they read it, they saw it, they knew what they was voting on, and the attorney letter was,
Yep.
2 days ago, we was walking and a gentleman that lives on our road stopped and asked us about this petition. He did sign the petition, and then he said, well, I'm not a registered voter. And so, but anyway, that's in regards
There were
to the
12
point.
of those.
He did have a piece of paper from Mr. Dobson, something about illegal activities that the select board was doing, blah, blah, blah. but his wife threw it away. Now, I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
questioning
not
Mr.
true.
Dobson's veracity, nor am I questioning this other person's veracity. All I'm saying, if that was being passed out, and this gentleman said it was, then it should have came in with that.
Because that's what people
Didn't
were
come in 'cause
basing
It was
their,
non-existent, that never happened.
that people were making their minds up based on a piece of paper they read and not the ordinance. The ordinance was underneath the petition. And this is, and then there has been the circulation of emails and YouTube videos using the town email lists, accusing us, the select board, of sending the wrong ordinance last year to Eaton Peabody, after we spent $2,500 to get Mr. Mistaski to sit right in this chair and address Mr. Dobson, answer every question he had, because he was accusing us of fraud. And so he's passed this ordinance around again this year,
Zaxxon
accusing
said
us
that
fraud
he did not-
again.
He did
And
not.
you do
Let
not
her
have
talk.
the floor. So I cannot see how, in good faith, we can put a warrant article on the books when we don't know what was said behind our backs.
Well, you followed me.
And I have seen a YouTube video attacking Mr. Rowe.
It was quite humorous,
I
I
have
found.
seen YouTube videos where phone calls have been taken, had been called Mr. Rowe, and the caller videotaped himself, put it on YouTube talking to Mr. Rowe, and Mr. Rowe did not know that he was being questioned. He didn't know that he was being taped. Now, I, for one, and have had it as a select board being treated like this.
Brought it on yourself, it's called accountability.
I think we still need to get to the base situation here. We've got something in front of us, whether people were misled or
I
whatever,
suggest we
altered
table
thinking
it
or
then if
whatever,
we can't.
they still signed the petition. The petition
How
has
many of you
100.
signed it? They don't have to sign it, meaning they approve of it.
Yeah, how many signed it just to get him off their doorstep?
Or just
Yeah,
to
but
bring it
that's,
forward.
unfortunately, that's part of the process here is, whether you believe it or not, it's still a legal document that should
Yeah.
be forwarded, that the people, at least 119 of them out there, which is almost consistent with a town meeting attendance, okay?
That's-
That people want it addressed. And if you don't do it now, I'm pretty sure it's going to be pressed into an issue where we're going to end up with more court costs.
The only leverage we have to see what that piece of paper was that was circulated is to hold off on that. We have no other way to compel him to play fair with us.
You have no evidence that it was, except somebody.
It's still going to be presented. It's still going to be presented.
But
And,
I would not approve your amendment. I wouldn't go along with it.
Well, I'm not really expecting a second, but in the act of
I second
futility,
it.
I'll go ahead and put it out there. Like I said, I have no problem with our legal counsel looking it over and supplying his opinion on the warrant, okay, for the regular town meeting. If he disapproves it or approves it or doesn't have an opinion, whatever, I don't have any trouble with that. But as far as 119 people that were validated to go ahead and put this out there for a vote. And remember, I'm not trying to play any favorites here, because
No, I
I'm
know
just as
that, I know that.
culpable with this just as any three of us or any other elected official in town here.
I don't.
And I've been called to resign in the past.
Yes, yes.
On a few times, whether it's in session or out there in public. So I get my share of the darts and the
Right.
arrows too.
My problem here is we're gearing up again for another massive waste of town legal funds based on, I mean, you heard the reference today of the people's lawyer? The people's lawyer is Eaton Peabody.
But remember, if I could just say, remember, the lawyer involved here, the solicitor, had been the town's lawyer at one time, and he's also a resident of the town.
But he's still the private attorney of Mr.
And he's
Dobson.
representing Mr. Dobson's viewpoint.
Mr.
He's not
Dobson.
representing me, he's representing the whole public.
Your
citizens.
viewpoint,
Yeah.
that's all. And
Like
it's
I said-
not necessarily the same viewpoint as the viewpoint of the town.
Let's send it to Eaton Peabody, and as soon as Mr. Dobson forks over whatever he was passing out, or I get a copy of it on my own, then we'll talk about putting it on the warrant. And all those 119 people, if one of them has a copy of it they'd like to share with us, feel free. Then we'll feel good about it. Let's see what was said about us.
But like I said, whatever got put out there for food for all or one-sidedness or whatever, the point is their signatures are on this petition. Whether they believed it or didn't believe it, or they listened to stories or watched stuff on YouTube or whatever the deal is, that's besides the point. The issue is what's right here on this petition.
And until we've had it reviewed by our town solicitor for his opinions, and if he approves of it, then that means he's willing to defend it for us. If he doesn't approve, then that leaves a lot to be desired.
Now, if he approves it, and the word comes back that he approves it, the board could still vote against putting it on the warrant.
But
No,
why would
But
we?
we can't stop that.
No, but why would we though?
What?
Right, why would we? There would be no reason. The issue with the recall petition is this. Back in 11, there was a Representative, Deborah Sanderson, and she was from Chelsea, down around Augusta somewhere. Chelsea had a selectman, it was a woman, on a 5-man board, that was arrested, charged with taking $20,000 worth of bribes from a local contractor. And she was brought up on charges. She was arraigned on that count. And the town wanted her out. She wouldn't quit. And they had no mechanism to get her out, until... Now, she hadn't been convicted of it, but she had been charged. But they didn't feel comfortable with that person handling the money. So they went to their state representative, and she went to the legislature and said, we need to have something on the books that if a town gets stuck and something bad happens, they can get that person out. So the state passed that one where you have to be convicted of a crime against the town. They added that on to the original recall thing. Then in 13, it was all over the news. I can't think of the name of the town. Orland, something like that. Or an elected town
You're gonna
Uh,
clerk.
sit here and listen to a half-an-hour speech?
You can leave any time. We won't miss you, really. Down in Orrington, she had it was $400,000 she stole. She wouldn't quit. But by that time,
That has nothing to do with what's going on in this
You
house.
may leave any time. I have
Yes.
the floor. Sit down.
Please, sit down or leave.
You erupt again, we'll call the cops and have you removed. So there is a benefit to having a recall ordinance that goes beyond what the state to say that if they're formally charged, that you could get them out. So I could see where we could take this and go one step further. But see, the other thing that bothers me about this ordinance is there's nothing to limit the number of times they can come after one person in 1 year. This recall ordinance doesn't say you can only do it once in a year. Didn't work this time, 2 weeks later I run around, tell some more stories, get another bunch of signatures.
Don't
We're
say
back.
that either.
Well, now we got a phone call coming here.
Wow.
So I'm considering that getting Eaton Peabody's opinion and then taking it and, he told us last time we could take it and improve on it ourselves. So we could do that. We could ask him to take it and put it in a form that he can defend and that would actually not be subject to personalities, shall we say? That's the part about this that I find so disgusting.
I can understand all of that, but I consider this document to be a one-way train.
But
And
it's how-
going to go before the people because it's been attested, it's been validated.
Right. But what we're gonna do on the other end of it is what I don't
If
know.
the select board in the future, depending on the outcome of the vote, wants to put more teeth into something or less teeth or whatever to put forward to the people as an ordinance on their own, then fine. But for right now, this is the item.
But until we've gotten our opinion from our town solicitor, we really aren't protecting the best interests of the town
But we are of 119 people here,
Well-
and who knows how many more might be out there that didn't get approached by the circulator.
I
Well,
cannot.
anyway, I don't want to go on too much further on this. This is just
In the
a
past,
moot point.
since I've been here, been involved with town government, anything like that has come in, generally speaking, they've wanted the board to send it to the lawyer to get it in a form that is acceptable and can be.
He has already accepted it.
Well, I want it done now.
You want it in paper so you can put it in town court, that's fine. But he has accepted it as being legal, it should be put in front of people.
Who's accepted it as being
And it was
legal?
drawn up by
Well, there was
attorney.
some discussion the night he was here, about it, but
June 11th, I believe it was.
now we've
Was
got.
that the night that Thad was here?
Yes, so, yes, it will be sent, because now we have an official petition for him to review, and that's what we want done.
Same.
That's the
But he's
procedure.
also going to get the information, because
Yeah.
these people will sign affidavits that they had pieces of paper. They were given it information. Now that needs to come out. Yeah.
That is totally untrue. You can go ask every one of those signatures.
Will you be
I
quiet?
don't have any skin in this game. I signed that petition for 37 years. I couldn't sign a petition from the Bangor Daily, as a Bangor Daily News reporter. But I can say that he came to the house, all he had was a clipboard with the petition on it, and the ordinance, and the attorney's letter. That was all that was presented to me.
Okay.
You'll get that same story from,
Then the
Everyone
attorney's
will-
letter
people
needs to
sign
come
that
in too.
petition.
It all needs to come in. Bring the attorney's letter in. When it's complete, it goes. And
Okay,
if I find out there was anything else, we'll deal with that when it happens.
yes. Now, you want to make your amendment official?
Yeah, I'd like to, what your motion was,
Let's do it in
Was
two
to-
motions. Do it in two.
We got a motion on his amendment.
yeah, I've got that on the floor now, amending the original
Mm-hmm.
motion that I do want it voted on tonight, and also to agree with the fact that it should still be sent to the town's council for review for either his
Well, it's-
approval or disapproval.
Your amendment would be to have us vote on it tonight. Do you wish to second?
I can go with it.
You will second it?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Send it.
No, that ain't the motion.
Yeah, put it in. Put it
The
in.
amendment is to put the amendment in,
Put the amendment in.
which means that we were accepting the ordinance tonight.
Put it on, because that just increases the paper that goes into the town report if and when.
Who actually made the motion?
Tom.
I mean,
He made the amendment.
Okay.
Bearing in mind that at any time, we are always free to rescind a motion too.
So you need to vote on the amendment.
Yeah.
Well, you haven't completed the vote.
So that's 3-0
No,
no,
on the amendment.
on the amendment. Then you have to vote on
2-1.
forwarding it to the town solicitor for comment.
Right, so the motion on the amendment is 2-1. I did not
You
approve.
did not, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, now you need to vote on sending it to the town solicitor for comment.
All those in favor?
but that's, okay, I want to make it clear that sending it to the solicitor does not negate the proper document that we have here. In other words, his opinion is only going to be something that will be in the town report or something that the select board can consider for the future.
We still have time to come up with, doing it this early. We
I
have,
know,
we have
it's
plenty, we
hard.
have 2 months that we could
I
propose.
tried to
on.
explain previously that we review the warrant for the town meeting
Yeah.
at the last select board meeting prior to the town meeting.
No. Prior to when it has to be sent out for printing. And that
Have we ever had a town meeting after we've sent it out for print? So,
No, we haven't.
we can't change anything at that final meeting that we review the warrant and we put our signature to it, that's it.
It has to be
gets
sent
locked
out.
in. It
Everything-
just goes out and gets printed, but nothing can be changed after that.
Correct.
No, once it goes, you can change up to a week out, and then you
You'd
just
have
have
to-
to put an amendment
You'd
in
have to put
another
as we did this
page.
last time, we gotta put out another
Page.
one.
Once it's posted out there.
Once it's posted,
As a warrant for the town meeting, that's it, it's locked in.
you can change it up until a week before. You got 7 days out. Even
Right.
if it's posted, you got 7 days
Right,
out.
right.
Right, I'm already
Right.
writing the warrants for the town
Yeah.
meeting. So I will
All
be
right, so-
adding this
So
to,
the motion was to
But
But I
forward
do
it
not
to,
want to see
the
another
council.
town meeting like last time where it was the tail that wagged the horse on the whole thing. I mean, last time it was soundly defeated 2-1 to spend,
could very well happen again.
And
So, I
no-
mean,
but,
I
you
mean,
know-
look what happened tonight with the Gabby Fowler thing, unanimous in this town for unanimous.
yeah, well, how many often do we do that? Yeah, that's unusual, absolutely.
But
So anyway, the motion
the
was.
motion is to forward to the town solicitor for comment. The amendment
Second?
is that
Yeah, I'll
it would be
second it.
forwarded
I'll-
to the
I'll
people
I'll second it.
as a warrant
Send it.
article.
Yeah,
But I want whatever else was with that petition when it went around, I want that included with it.
but it's got nothing to do with the petition though, because the people.
But they read it and that encouraged, that
You can print
influenced.
anything in the world you want out there, or put anything you want on YouTube, or draw cartoons
Doesn't
on a
do with
sidewalk.
YouTube.
It's not gonna make any difference. What people signed here is what they
But if
signed
they
for this
read it and
petition.
it
Never mind any other paperwork or drawings or cartoons or whatever.
You're gonna have a stroke.
We, when,
If they read it at the same time that they signed the petition, it could have influenced how
I
they
don't care,
applied.
that's not what is on the petition.
But-
That's not what is here.
okay, but
This
that's.
is what we're dealing
but
with
it-
right here,
it
this
is-
document.
Excuse me, it is separate. If you
So
want
this is
something,
some
it's not gonna
secret
go out
that's
as a warrant.
not going to go to the
Yeah,
town attorney?
that's going out as a warrant.
We're ashamed to show it to Eaton Peabody? We're afraid to
That's-
show it to Eaton
No,
Peabody?
if there is something else out there, then, I don't know, we've got
Well,
one
let's-
person that
where's
says
today's
no, we've
skin
got
off
another
his
person that
teeth
says
if it
yes.
goes in?
The
I
select
don't-
board
She
can,
saw it,
the
too.
select board can put before the voters anything else that they want. That's going as a warrant article for voter approval. And the select board, when you come to vote on what's going to be on the warrants and what's going to be in the town report, can add whatever else you want as comments.
Absolutely.
No.
I just feel that if this other piece of paper that was out there that we did not get to see, and our attorney won't get to see, what's the big secret? If it's no big deal, then give it to
Did
us.
this secret piece of paper also have to have a signature on it to verify that
No,
somebody?
but-
Well,
but the-
I don't understand.
Because
What evidence
it's
that
part of-
includes itself in this document?
I would like to.
I can tell you the sky is blue right now, but it's not blue, all right? You've got enough sense. I mean, I could have a petition, sky's black right
That
now
is
because
the
it's
point.
nighttime.
Give it to Mr.
What-
Dawson, he'll sign it. But
Well, that's a later vote for whatever else you want to add.
I make one more polite comment.
you haven't made a polite comment yet, so why start now?
go ahead.
Don't need any of that off from you.
Okay, that ain't polite.
Stay civil, please.
The
Both
chairman-
sides.
I just want to clarify that why I'm so concerned about this being voted on, to accept to be put on warrant. I have it on tape that somebody claimed, said that it was not voted on, the last year was not voted on to accept to be put on warrant. This is illegal. I do not want this going in front of the people, and then after we get voted, vote us up or down. I don't want to put it in front of the people, and then later find out that somebody says, oh, it wasn't legal to put on the warrant because we never voted on it.
It wasn't ever voted on. I was the one that said it.
That's not going to happen.
Well, geez, let's throw that out again.
That is not going to happen
Okay.
this year.
All right, well, you ready to call
We're
for a
not
vote?
prepared to vote on accepting it as a warrant article tonight. Before I vote on it, I was gonna have a response from our town's attorney. And that's all there's gonna be as far as I'm concerned.
I find it offensive that this whole thing is based on a campaign that somehow we did him wrong last year, and we
Yeah.
didn't. We spent $2,500 to show that everything was done above board, and we could have went and burned it in the parking lot and had more of a return on it.
For you guys to
Hey, we're not talking to you, and don't have the floor.
contest that, it was
Bill,
illegal.
throw him out,
No.
please.
Conflict of interest.
Hey,
Enough is
that's
enough.
water over the dam. That's enough. I say, let's vote to send it to the solicitor. All approved, 3-0. Let's move on. Approval of selectmen's meetings for January 13th select board.
Make motion to approve.
Good night.
Yep. For the
Good night.
13th, we're doing,
That's the regular meeting, yes. I got no problem with it.
We need a second.
Oh, second.
Tom seconded.
no, Bill second.
She approved, I second.
What's his motion?
Any comments?
Did we ever figure out what we were gonna do about, I mean, this isn't relevant to approving the minutes, just a side question. The sales tax, like on copies and
Yes.
things like that, we
We are
are
required
to
to.
charge.
I
Okay.
called the Department of Revenue, talked to the
Oh,
people who
interesting.
handle it, and they told me, yes. Her what she collects for notarizing is not taxable. Copies are taxable.
Okay.
And even though
Even
we're
though the
probably the
audit-
only town doing it in the state of Maine.
All right.
Well, we got to vote for
that
it.
one.
All those in favor?
Okay, yeah, that's the question I had.
But we'll be the only ones not going to jail.
That's one of the reasons why we raised the fees. Isn't it?
Yep. And, make it worthwhile collecting.
That's right. More waste of time, plus money.
Well,
Special select.
As someone that's dealt with the sales tax division for 28 years in 2 different states, and not the kind of people you want to mess with, believe me. I've seen tremendous fines accrued over just 1 cent being off
Oh, yeah,
on
that's-
what gets
that's-
sent in. Well,
But the other towns worry about it. You won't go to jail for collecting the tax. You'll go to jail if you don't.
Don't pay the tax. Special selectmen's meeting, January 15th. I found nothing wrong with it. I approve.
second,
All those in favor? Item 7, unfinished business. Says none here.
Right.
Great.
Item 8, new business.
I have before me the bill from the county. I need a motion to approve its payment, and then there's your signatures on here. We generally don't pay until several months from now. But
This is for 2016.
Yes,
Those are Tom's
yeah.
friends, let him make
Yeah.
a motion.
hey, we tried to hold the line.
How come they're sending it out so soon?
That's because
they're Tom's friends, they want
their money.
some idiot will pay, I guess.
You gotta pay it.
Tom's supposed to make this motion.
Yeah,
I'll
Tom.
make the motion, we go ahead and sign the, for the county tax of $117,201 for the year 2016. From
They
the
ain't even
county.
been approved by the citizens yet to pay it.
No,
Second.
they won't, it won't be a warrant article.
Yeah. that's
Yes, it
another-
will.
No, it won't.
No.
No.
No, they told- they
You
told us
should have
not
been
to.
It
here.
will be a warrant article.
No, you can't, it's worthless time. You can't turn it down.
You have to pay.
We can make it official warrant to let the people know what it
Just like-
is.
just
We
like
can,
the school
well, I'll
budget.
note on there what it is, they'll know, but there's no sense having a warrant article and spending the time making a motion and people parading around with their little red tags to vote on it.
Wow. Well, you gotta pay it, just like
You gotta
that
pay it. It's a bill.
hydrant tax. there.
Same thing with the school.
Yeah.
Street lights and everything else.
Who seconded, we have a, anyone who seconded that?
She seconded, I think.
I seconded.
Yeah, I
I'm
got
voting
it.
yes. Quick, get us out of here.
Oh, all those in favor? I thought we already voted.
No, we just, we're stunned.
We've already signed it.
I'm getting ready to run out the door.
Well, two of us have signed it, I think. Melissa, you got one?
But, oh yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
yeah, third line.
That's why I thought it had already been okayed. Okay, next item, set the date for the annual town meeting.
The law reads that unless the town, as the legislative body, or your charter, which we do not have one, or by ordinance, if it's not set in one of those three places, the Board of Selectmen sets the date and time of the annual town meeting. I can find no evidence going back to 1975 where the town has ever.
Was that why you were
Set
getting it in the books? Well, it is that our normal weekend's Easter weekend, and it's kind of a bad weekend to expect a good turnout.
Yes. So I make a motion that we move the schedule for the annual
Well,
town.
don't say you're going to move it. You're going to say you're going to set it.
Okay, excuse me,
It
set
never
it.
was set, so it's nothing to
All the
move.
hands
You
up.
gotta be careful of incomplete movements around here.
Yeah.
This is not for perpetuity, this
No,
is
it's
just for
just for
this
this
year,
year.
Just,
right?
yeah,
Okay.
it's a one-time deal.
For
The,
this year, we will to schedule the annual town meeting to occur on the first Saturday in April.
Which is second, right? We're still in
Yeah.
January, but
Oh, that's,
at 9 a.m.
At 9 a.m.
in the fire
in the fire.
in the fire station.
Yeah.
that's the second.
Second,
And Tom, did you do the second?
No, Melissa did the
Melissa
second.
did second.
I'm just trying to move.
Trying to
it
get you
along.
in there so that people know.
Well, I know,
you're
but
getting
he
paid.
contemplates it so, yeah, he contemplates the act so long, it takes him a while to.
Okay. 2016 town meeting set for the first Saturday of April, 9 a.m. in the fire station.
Yeah. All those in favor?
I would say explicit notice to the residents so they don't show up the Saturday prior with the
Makes-
doors
Get on
locked
your email and
and wondering what's going on. So some good advertising to,
And Ken, you know there's special
hear that,
people that do
Stuart?
a phone call, right?
thank you.
I think it's actually already on the town's website.
Oh, good,
When you look at all the meeting schedules,
Yeah.
you'll see it.
okay.
okay, what special town meeting
Tomorrow, I may
follow-up?
have to take it off if it didn't get passed. What?
What special town meeting follow-up?
Okay,
Ken wants to do a
that's-
victory dance.
Yeah, that's on there in case there was anything that we needed to do to
I don't
do
see,
anything, and I think we're all.
all set there.
Yes.
Okay, D, select board authorization to transfer $45.28 from the contingency account number 610199999 to streetlight accounts, I ain't gonna read the numbers, the streetlights account to eliminate an overdraft and transfer $458.85 from the contingency.
Okay.
Well, I want to make sure it's in the right line. From the contingency account to the discounts account to eliminate an overdraft. And to list these expenditures in the 2015, that should be 2016 town report, shouldn't it?
Well, it's.
No, it's for the year.
It's the
Fall-
2015 town report.
Yeah, it screws me up all the time.
It's the
But that's-
report for last year.
Right, but,
You get it in 2016, but it'll be labeled 2015. And this is the 2014 town report.
that was the year of the,
Well, we just.
no, that was 2 years ago.
No.
No,
Well, it's 2014.
It lags a year, it lags a year. We're telling you all about last year.
All right. The streetlights account is an estimate of the charges from CMP and were underestimated for 2015 by $45.28. The 2% discount on the 2015 early payment on property taxes was more popular than estimated, resulting in $19,458.85 being deducted versus the $19,000 estimated at the time the budget was approved. Sangerville is one of a dwindling number of towns offering a discount.
Where'd that editorial
That's the
come
town
from?
manager's editorial.
Yeah.
And the auditors.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Just to clarify.
I knew this was coming.
And here again, I'm thinking that because this budget expense summary is done after the final audit on 1/27/2016, I've added up all the overdrafts here and they come to $1,201.57. I take it the only issues we're dealing with here on D are items related to 2015 overdrafts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's 2015.
Okay.
The rest of them are
All
covered
right,
within
I
their divisions.
just to,
Remember, the
Within that
overdrafts only count for the audit
okay, all right,
when
Very
they
good.
exceed
No, good.
the approved amount in a warrant article.
okay.
Governmental operations are all put
Yep.
together, and you'll
Okay.
see in this next one
We will.
that I'm planning to put a lot of others together as well. And the budget committee, and I'll have the budget committee sign off on that too, just so we have more support. So we don't have to have a
Fudge
motion on streetlights, and
Right.
then we have a motion on hydrants, and we have a motion on things
Yep.
that you don't have any choice on.
this. Right, right.
And
Unless you
again,
want to turn out the streetlights.
That works for me.
get rid of the
Yeah.
hydrants.
Yeah.
Get rid of the
We should
hydrants.
turn out the damn safety lights and all, right
Hey,
up and down
I
Jamaica.
found a guy that will talk hydrants with you.
Oh, I'm done talking, that's ancient history.
Can't be from the water district, or is it?
So that takes care of new business. Item 9.
Oh,
I thought we voted, Dal. All those in favor of doing what the motion you just read? Paying the 4528 and the 45885 out of contingency.
yeah,
The motion doesn't have the editorial in it, don't worry.
thank you.
Well, last year was the only year we didn't have any, but that's because I chased her around. That
Well,
was
here
what all
again,
that chasing around was about.
here again, these things are out of our control.
See, they're single warrant articles, and there's no leeway.
And all those times and all those years we thought we hadn't used contingency, if you go back in all those audits, you find that she did rack some stuff up against contingency.
Yeah.
We just didn't realize.
This
at the time.
follows the warrant article that allowing you to have the contingency, which also says you have to vote on it at a town meeting. Can't just be done by the
Right.
selectmen, can't just be done by the auditor. And it has to go into the town report.
Yeah.
Those are the conditions under which the
And
contingency.
anything
fund is
over
granted.
$10,000 has to go before
Uh,
special town meeting and
Go before the
legislative
town,
body.
yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yep, good, okay,
Okay.
very good.
So it's been approved.
Yep.
Okay, item 9, road issues and maintenance. Road commissioners update. I got nothing.
Hello?
No.
Oh, here's an echo. Is there any chance we have any information or update on the 5500 truck?
It was repaired.
Is
So
it
is
back
it
in
back
stock?
on the road?
It
and-
should be, yeah, because we paid for the parts, we paid for the labor.
Oh, we did get there for the labor?
Yes, we did.
Oh, okay, all right. All right.
Oh, I got a question too, road stuff. I had a guy ask me today about getting used culverts. He wants to use it on his private property on his woods roads. Is there any, how does that work here?
Well,
Is he a citizen of the town?
Yes.
sometimes when we've taken a culvert out and we don't want it and can't use it, we've given it to the landowner.
Is there any way, this guy is not
Or
getting
they
that
can buy
culvert taken, he's looking to buy a used
Yeah,
culverts off the town?
Well, there was someone else who wanted to buy it too, and I asked Peter, and he said, no, he wants them all.
Okay, that's the answer. That's all I want to know.
He does use them. Yeah.
We've got some, I think, that are in pretty, I don't know what length he needs. Is it driveway width or is it short?
Yeah, he's
distance?
got a woods road kind of thing. He's got
There are-
springs or something going across his
there
woods
are
road.
The best way to get the most up-to-date answer is to ask Peter.
Okay. So should I give him Peter's telephone
Yeah,
number?
yeah.
Okay. I'll do that.
Up to Peter.
Okay,
And don't we have a warrant article on disposing of town?
Up to $3,000.
3,000, yeah.
Okay, I don't think they're worth 3,000.
No.
Okay, all right.
And so our policy is that Peter disposes of them,
Yes.
and we don't have none of us get involved in it.
No.
Okay. Because that was an issue last summer, if you remember.
Yeah.
Remember that fracas there?
Mm-hmm.
Item 10, appointments. Community Forest Committee.
Right. Normally, we wouldn't do this, we'd wait until April. But in going around to the committees and finding out who's on there and when their terms expire and everything else, the Forestry Committee had not been meeting, and they have decided that they do want to meet, they'd like to get reactivated and like to start going, and rather than having them wait until April, and these are the, so I said I would take it to the select board to officially appoint them, and so they could get going.
Okay. So he
Uh,
just makes a motion to appoint all those people?
Cynthia Hall, Rick Pellerin, John Armstrong, Diane Burritos, and Miles Lemuel. I make a motion that they be appointed to the Community Forestry Committee.
I'll second it, but
There's always
for
one.
discussion, I'd really give a courtesy phone call to Miles Lemieux because
And let's,
I don't know how active he wants to be on it or if at all. If not, then we should probably try to get someone else.
Well, I thought they would get the meeting together and
Yeah, and
see,
solicit,
you know,
feel
might need
around.
some fresh people.
Yeah.
Well, see, they got, at the high school, they have to have so many hours of community service now before they can graduate.
Yeah.
And it would be something that kids from Sangerville could do, working on the trail and everything.
And they're talking about maybe going after a grant for a trail up above the,
Exciting times.
so,
All right, so for a vote.
all those in
that's my
favor?
discussion. Yeah, good.
Reports.
I gave you one.
Yeah.
The end of the year, there's one bill outstanding.
Let me guess.
I have tried a number of times.
I tried.
The clerks have tried.
Is it for that bit of
A
road?
select board member has tried. It's always on its way.
Is that bit
It
of work on
still has
French's
not
Mills?
arrived. If I can get it the next couple of days, the auditor said she would slip it in so that it didn't show up in 2016. If it comes in later and has to be paid out of 2016, then I want to add it to the line item so that the budget for 2016 reflects the additional money so that we don't cramp the 2016 budget because of something that should have been paid out of 2015. But it really shows that trying to piecemeal public works
Does not look.
doesn't work. Because it was really a struggle to get the work done in the first place. And it's been almost impossible.
Shouldn't have been gone the way the tax Peter.
And I don't think it was totally all done to begin with, at least not
No.
within a snowflood. It was only partially done.
Only
in
one,
snow.
there were 2 roads that were supposed to be done. As I understand, only one road was done. The
One
other-
and a half roads.
The other road was done by Peter.
Before
Oh.
we pave next year, if we pave next year, we need to have some written policy as to how far we go as to rake up the sides of the road after they're done.
Well, I need to talk to people like Wellman to find out, can we, is there any problem with putting in there, they gotta clean up their work?
Right. And how much more is that gonna be? I mean, we may be able to do it cheaper, Pete may be able to do it cheaper than Wellman will do it for us, or somebody like that.
Maybe.
I don't know, but, you know, there has to be consistent policy, because every year it kind of changes a little
Yeah, we
bit.
got everyone's driveway complaining, the ditching on the side of the road, it doesn't run off properly,
Yeah, there has to be some sort of, we need to
I
figure
wanna
that
go
out.
through this again, either with Peter or with,
Yes.
Okay, consent items, treasurer and payroll warrants. And I've just since checked them all, and they're all signed by everybody, so.
Bravo, Tom. Excellent work.
Yes. So I make a motion that we accept the following consent items. Number 190, which is for last year, and numbers 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15.
Second.
All those in favor? Amendments, abatements, and supplements? None. Executive session. None? Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Hip hip. At 8:12.
Hey, that's pretty good.
I hate to throw a wrench in your vote, but I know we voted the last Saturday in the month. And I called Alice today, and Alice said, yes, we did. I don't know what year it
That's
was.
not, Alice could, if Alice told you that, she told me an entirely different story.
Really?
Yes.
But I do remember voting the last.
It had to be before 1975. I looked at all of them, and what Alice told me was, when she came on board, she had heard that it had been set as the first of
Thanks,
March.
Stuart.
Not meaning the first day of March,
Right.
but the first part of March.
Right.
But they weren't doing it that way, and she kept
You've
her
got
mouth
something to
shut.
observe tonight, didn't you?
Where was Mike Lang?
It works for the
I like it better.
Yeah,
Gazette
It's
now.
way
Yeah,
in
no,
people
But
anyway.
no one can show
Maybe he was
Million
afraid to.
articles.
Is that off?
any town motion setting
See.
it in
Is that
perpetuity.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ken, is that
That's
off?
true.
No.
That's true, I did.
No.
Yeah. I don't know if I recorded that.
turn it off, please.
Turn it off.
Yeah, I
A
looked
lot
wrong.
done in a short period of time.
What's his name's been?
In spite of the old... No.
I mean,